Alistair, in terms of satisfying wins, given what had happened in the Rosenstruck fight where you're winning basically the entire version of it, and at the last minute it doesn't go your way, and then here got kind of close, and of course you came back and then you dominated. Can you say how satisfying it is? Are all your victories equally satisfying? Certainly some must mean more than others.
Well, this was a satisfying victory, right? Because we had to make a statement after the Rosenstruck thing. But, yeah, looking at the performance, it was a very strong performance. You're displaying new stuff, the head kick, the background stuff. So that's all perfect. But I'm not dissatisfied about the Rosenstruck performance. That was also, we schooled the guy. You're up all 5 rounds. It was just like one, or actually it was 2 punches that he connected. In my opinion, a wrong stoppage. The ref should have never jumped in, and when he jumped in, it was 0 seconds left. I actually at the time thought it was the end of the fight, because I remember the click last 10 seconds, and then I got dropped straight back to my feet, and then it was over, and I thought I actually won that fight. And then it's like, hey, shit, they stopped it, TKO, and then you have Rosenstruck talking about it, he KO'd me. That guy got lucky. And I would love to run it back with him because, again, I fight him again, I'm going to finish him, 100%.
Would you fight him differently?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that, but I will finish him. I'm not going to allow the judges to get in or to have him have a lucky moment as he did. When you fight, there's always the chance for an X factor, and this was the X factor. X factor fell in his advantage. And, as a pro, I look at myself, I should have not allowed that to happen. Was it a fluke? It definitely was a fluke. And, give me the opportunity and I'll prove it was a fluke.
Alistair,
I already did that for 5 rounds, but give me another opportunity, I'm going to prove it in 2.
And I do find myself often defaulting back to a guy's resume instead of his in-ring talents that he has displayed for us. I'm aware of that, but it is very hard to turn away. When you get into combat and the going gets tough, you will always go back to what you are most comfortable with. 9.9 out of 10 times, I would be right to look at somebody like Justin Gaethje, who has wrestled since he was 5 years old, in a tough state for wrestling, by the way, who then goes on to Northern Colorado, which is a Division I program, and becomes one of their only All-Americans in school history, getting 5th in the country. I would be right to tell you that history says a lifelong wrestler, when the going gets tough, defers back to what he knows best, which is wrestling. You are right to tell me that Justin would represent that 0.01% who doesn't necessarily do that. I will always argue for you this. I believe Justin Gaethje wrestles in every single fight that he's ever had. And you may say he's never gone for a takedown, never one time has thrown a guy down and got on top and worked ground and pound. You may say that to me, but then I will have to remind you that wrestling is twofold. The offense is easy to see, the defense is harder to see, and Justin Gaethje, while not throwing people down and gaining top position, also does not get thrown down, put on bottom, and surrender top position to somebody else. That it is because of his wrestling and because of the defense and because of that resume that his opponents all know that they do not even attempt to out-wrestle him. Tony Ferguson was a national champion who never went for any takedowns. That was a respect factor. We saw that same thing happen in Usman versus Covington. Some major barking orders back and forth at press and media between those two athletes of who the better wrestler was. The National Division II Championship in Usman or the All-American honors at the Division I level of Covington. They never tested it. They both knew the truth, which was, it really doesn't matter which one matters more. You have enough that's going to stop me, and I got enough that's going to stop you, so let's go to plan B and make this fisticuffs. That's a very real thing, and that's what we see, and I think that Justin is the beneficiary of that many times. At the same time that Tony Ferguson never took Justin down, Tony never tried to take Justin down, but I could back up. I could go to the Eddie Alvarez fight. I could go to the Poirier fight. I could go to a number of very good wrestlers he's been in there with who, out of respect to his previous accomplishments, never wanted to test it. So whether Justin has to sprawl and use his hips and pressure on the head and baseline defense and post at the knees, whether he has to do that or he can just do it because he's got a big old ring that says NCAA All-American, either way, he's still using his defenses. And I think that that is relevant with Khabib. And I know that I have brought up Justin's ability to wrestle as it pertains to Khabib, but I've never brought up the fact that Justin's going to take Khabib down and hold him there. I'm only arguing that Justin isn't going to be easy to take down, and he's not one of these guys that's going to play guard. He's going to act like a collegiate wrestler, which is to turn to his knees, get wrists, get back up to his feet, turn and face him. That is very unique. One of the reasons that American wrestlers have done so well in mixed martial arts and that has not transferred over to wrestlers of other countries. The Eastern Blocs, the Cubans, very good high-level wrestling, Olympic and world medal. How come those guys aren't coming and grabbing MMA titles? I will tell you. Because only America does a system called folk style or collegiate style wrestling, which is you must get up off of the bottom. You cannot lay on the bottom. If you get taken down and you do not get back up to your feet, you are penalized for that. It is called stalling. You must get to your feet. You are also rewarded for not letting a guy get to his feet. You can get what's called riding time, where you pick up a bonus point for that. So only American wrestlers are trained to hold somebody down against their will and to get up and get free against the other guy's will. Only American wrestlers, and it is something that is very relevant. Should Justin be taken down by Khabib? It's going to be a different game. It's not going to be guard and Khabib's going to look to pass while pounding and looking for a submission. That's not what Justin's going to do. He's going to scramble and try to get back up to his feet. And I just offer for you that there's wrestling, though you don't see it very much. That's a very fair point by you. It's a very fair point, but I'm also not suggesting for you that that's what he needs to go do.
Tell me about Triple C, because people are wondering if the retirement is real, if it's a negotiating tactic. Set the record straight.
First of all, people understand my relationship with the Dana White and UFC. I don't think about money publicly, right?
Yeah.
I think Dana's right. I think Henry's been talking about retirement. Did I think Henry's going to retire? Absolutely not. I don't think Henry's going to retire. Did Henry feel sometime, Khabib, right? Every time you fight, I think I'm done. 2 weeks later, who do you think I should fight next, right? Because these guys, they at their prime. Henry started to become now in his prime, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to retire in your prime? And the pay-per-view did so well, and you got to make some money.
Yeah.
The things can be changed a little bit? Yes, of course. But at the end of the day, this is between us. It's between me and Henry and the UFC.
Yeah.
I don't think the media should know about this stuff because people's ego get big. But did Henry really felt like he just knocked out the greatest bantamweight of all the time, right? Dominic Cruz. What's that making, right? The greatest flyweight, the greatest bantamweight, and the greatest comebacker all the time. And now you got boxing superstars calling him out, right? Normally it's the opposite, right? Yeah. Realistically, man, Henry got everybody on their knees right now. I don't think he's gonna retire. You're gonna see him fight by the summer. That's just what I think.
Who would be next, Ali? Would it be a rematch with TJ? Are you guys interested in Ryan Garcia in a boxing match, possibly? What's attractive to you guys?
I always say this. TJ's, first of all, Henry will never fight TJ, right? And I don't think any clean athlete should ever fight TJ Dillashaw, right? Because the man cheated for a long time. I don't know him as a person. I ain't got no personal stuff to him, but if you cheated for this long, and why you think you're gonna come back and get a title shot? You know, it doesn't even make sense. Henry for sure will never fight him. I know that for sure.
Okay.
Right? Because he beat the man when he's on the juice. Why? I get up fight him.
If you are a fighter or someone who wants to start training in MMA, listen up. My name is Phil DeRue. I am the head performance coach of American Top Team. I train some of the elite MMA athletes in the world, such as Dustin Poirier, King Mo Lawal, Frankie Edgar, Junior Dos Santos, Edson Barbosa, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Going to MMA gyms or hiring a personal trainer can get extremely expensive over time. So if you want to get in shape and train using the exact program of the top MMA fighters for an affordable one-time price, check out Fight Ready in the description below. Use code MMA Central to get 20% off your final purchase. I hope to see you on the inside.